Hello friends, this is Rose, and you have come to Untwist Your Stitches, my Flosstube channel about cross stitching and other crafting that I do and want to share with everybody out there that's watching me. Thank you for returning if you are a subscriber. If you're new and just finding me, hello and welcome. I hope you find some inspiration. I hope you find some smiles. There's just a lot of things here, and maybe I'll inspire you to do something new or different. I don't know, but I hope you enjoy what you see. It has been at least 6 weeks since I did my last Flosstube, and that is because since you saw me last, I have moved from California to Idaho, and it has been an adventure. I'll give you a little update about some of the things. I won't go too in depth with it, but a few of the highlights or lowlights of what has been happening since I last saw you. So I had called a mover, and we were all set, and they were supposed to come and pick our stuff up on June 8th. That would have been a Saturday. The Tuesday before they were scheduled to come and pick our stuff up, got a phone call. Hey, sorry, we have to break our contract. The truck that was going to come and load your household goods has broken down, and we don't have anything else available to do this move, so we're just going to return the deposit that you made with us, and sorry, but you're out of luck as far as we're concerned. I'm like, holy cow, what's going on? I came ahead because my husband is finishing up with his job, with our business. He's finishing the customers that we had, and he couldn't make it up here. So I was coming up with the dogs to get everything set up. And, it's like, oh my gosh, what is going to happen? I had a little tickle in my throat. So anyway, I start calling moving companies. Who's available? Because it is Idaho, it's a kind of what they consider a remote area. Most of the name brand moving companies do not service this area. Idaho, Montana, North Dakota, Wyoming, Utah, Eastern Washington, Eastern Oregon. There's this whole section of areas where they don't service. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Well, we finally got a company, talked to them. They were available, went and looked at their reviews. They had a 4.9 star review. And I thought, hot diggity dog, this is great. They were able to do it for almost the same cost as the other company, a little bit higher, but with it being such a short period of time to try to get things going, I was like, okay, we'll do it. Everything went pretty much as I expected. They came, there were 4 of them. They loaded everything up in the house, and signed the contract, and they said, okay, who is going to meet us at the other end? And I said, well, I have to, because I'm the only one available. And they said, okay, well, if you put down a day of delivery, you absolutely have to be there on that day, because if you're not, and the movers get there, and there's nobody to accept this delivery, then you will get penalized, and you'll get a redelivery charge, which could be as much as $2,000. I'm like, okay, no problem. I can be there in 4 days. Great, perfect. Sign the papers. gave them the money, 50% of the moving fees. The other 50% was going to be paid when they delivered. No problem. I had already gotten everything together that I was going to take. The dogs were ready. I had sedatives for them because they don't travel well. I had talked to my vet. We had done the whole thing. I was ready to go. I also had a 16-foot trailer that I was hauling with me with more of our household goods in them because, well, we just have a lot of stuff. If you've ever had to move after you've been in an area for a long period of time, and we had been in California for almost 30 years. So we had accumulated a lot of stuff. So I had my truck, the dogs, my trailer, off I go. I would say 30 minutes from getting to our new house. And one of the tires on my trailer blew. Oh, good. In the mountains, no cellular service, because up here, cell towers are not like they are in more densely populated areas. This is country living. So I get over to the side of the road in a safe area where I'm not right on the road. My husband had made sure that I had a brand new spare tire for the trailer. Get everything out, get the lug nuts loosened, go to get the jack to jack up the trailer, and it's nowhere to be found. I don't have a jack. Oh Lord, what am I going to do? This is not a populated area. There have been a few cars go past me, but I would say in the time it took me to get everything there, I was probably there for 5-10 minutes getting everything situated, the spare tire out, the lug nuts off, all of that kind of stuff. There had probably been maybe a dozen cars go by in either direction. Excuse me. And as I said, no cell service. So I'm looking around, and down the road a ways, it looks like there's like maybe a home or some kind of area where I could either get better cell service or maybe somebody was in the house. I didn't know if it was a weekend home or if it was a year-round home, but I was going to walk down there. So I'm getting the water out for the dogs so that they can be kept in the cool area. They'll have water. I'm going to walk down to this area. Well, just about the time I got the dogs all situated, Idaho State Trooper comes past going in the opposite direction. But he obviously saw that I needed help. So he flips around and he comes and he goes, "It looks like you're having a little bit of trouble." Yeah, a little bit. Sorry, need some help. So he helped me he had a jack, and he helped me get the trailer jacked up, the new tire put on, the old tire in the back of the truck, everything all set. Asked me if I was okay, asked me if I needed water, just, excuse me. That's 2 days before they said they were going to deliver my stuff. Great, I've got a day to recuperate. I've got a day to just relax, put my feet up, get the dogs comfortable with their new home, whatever. But I hadn't heard from anybody, and I had been told I would get a text from the delivery driver before they got there. And I'm thinking, well, that's interesting. So then the actual day of delivery comes. Nothing. Nobody calls, nobody texts, nobody does anything. I'm thinking, what is going on? So I wait and wait and wait and wait, and it's getting to be 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock, you know? And I finally call them, and they're like, well, this is only your first day of availability. I said, yeah, I was told I needed to be here on this day or else I would be penalized. Well, yeah, if you're not there when you tell us you're going to be there and we have to redeliver, there's a penalty. But we have up to 14 days from your first day of eligible delivery days to get you your stuff. And I'm saying, that was not how it was explained to me. And they say, well, if you look at the 3rd page of your contract, it's all spelled out what our responsibility is and how long we have in order to get you your items. And I said, well, okay, but you guys told me that I absolutely had to be here. Yeah, we did. I said, well, how long is it going to be before you get here? Well, we've got up until the 27th of June before we have to legally get you your stuff. I said, you're telling me I'm going to be without any of the stuff on the truck for 14 days? Well, no, it might be there before that, but the contract says we have at least 14 days before we have to bring your stuff. I'm like, okay. So I did. After I got off the phone from them, I looked at my contract, and sure enough, it says up to 14 days with, there is this time frame. And I'm like, oh, great. Well, thank God I had brought some stuff with me, because I had one frying pan. I had my Keurig for hot cocoa and tea. I had a few like storage containers that had been thrown in. I didn't have a fork. I didn't have a knife. I didn't have any kind of cooking utensils, nothing. So again, that day, I'm heading into this town to buy a few things. Well, this is a small town. The town that we're living in now, or we're living outside of, is 3,000 people. There's not a whole lot of options. There's no Target. There's no Walmart. There are 2 grocery stores. There are, several other stores for buying things in. But I mean, it's not a wide market of available. The closest place that has a Costco, a Walmart, a Target, any of that kind of stuff is an hour and a half away. Well, I was able to get enough things to get me by. But I'm waiting and waiting and waiting, and finally I've got to look at my calendar now. So I was here on the 13th. They did not deliver until the 22nd. So I had to have the money available to pay for the second half of the price. The delivery driver gets here. Now, he got here at 9 o'clock in the morning. No problem. Great. Awesome. He only had half my stuff. They had filled a truck at our old house. It was completely full. There was no room left in it. They had gone and they had taken everything off that truck, split it in half, put half on one truck and half, I think, in another truck, or maybe in a holding area. I don't know. I've never got a straight answer as to what they have done. But I only have half my stuff. And now they're telling me that I probably won't get the rest of it until after the 4th of July. It's probably not what you wanted to hear 20 minutes in, and I still haven't talked about my cross stitching. So when I do edit this, I will let everybody know that if you're not interested in listening to all my jibber jabber, to go to this part of the video and just skip all of that and we'll move on. So I've got a lot of notes here because my brain only has so much capacity for dealing with things. So I've got all my notes and we'll get going. So the next part, after all of my rambling, my story, I have a fully finish. It is Autumn. Oops. Let's see. By the Cross-Eyed Cricket. I am doing this for my daughter. This was a pattern that she chose several years ago, and I finally gotten the time and ability to get it finished. It is being stitched on 32 count gingerbread. Wow, that was interesting. 32 count gingerbread Lugana. And here is my finish. I am not sure how I am going to fully finish this. I was thinking of maybe doing a round pillow, but I'm just not sure. I haven't completely convinced myself that's the best way to do it, but we will see. But here it is in all its glory. I did change the N. The color that they had in the stitched piece, it looks okay on here, but it was such a drab, dreary green. It just looked terrible. So instead of using that, right here, the wave from the puddle, I guess, is what that is supposed to be. A marsh, a puddle. Anyway, the lighter color of blue from that I used to do the N, and I kind of like how it kind of lightened the whole mood of the piece. So that is a different color, and it's finished. So when I finally figure out how I'm going to complete it, I will show you again, but that will be my Christmas present for my daughter. So WIPs. During all of this craziness, I have been stitching. It's what's kept me sane. May 12th to the 18th, I work on each of my projects for 1 week, Sunday to Saturday, and then I change. And I'll tell you about the one that, anyway, normally Sunday to Saturday. It is Nora Corbett's Raven Queen, and I am also, when I'm doing this, I'm making some changes to this, and I will show you my progress and then explain. Oh geez, I'll show you my progress and then explain what my thought process was for the changes that I have made. So here is my Raven Queen, and back here in the background, instead of, all right, where'd you go? Instead of having the castle and this pillar in the background, I have this project. It's called the Mourning Tree by Whispered by the Wind. Whispered by the Wind is the company, and it's called the Mourning Tree. And with all of these birds, ravens in the tree, I thought it went very well with Raven Queen. So that's going to be what's in the background. Across here, I think I will put this wall thing. I don't know what you would call it. I guess she's on a parapet. But I'm going to run that across so that it looks like the tree is in the background instead of the pillar. And then maybe on the other side, I will put the spires from whatever that's supposed to be, the rest of the castle or whatever exactly that is supposed to be. But anyway, I am incorporating Raven Queen with the Mourning Tree, putting them together to create a new picture. And this is how far I have gotten. I worked the entire week on completing the tree, the birds. The birds are stitched in, I'm sorry. No wonder it looks so funny. The birds are stitched in Rainbow Gallery Silk Lame Black. The tree is in the suggested color of $37.99 DMC, and the headstones are stitched in Weeks Dye Works King Mackerel. And that is how that looks so far. So I'll continue working on the background for her and hope to get as much as I can done. Now for the week of May 19th to the 25th, I worked on this Janlynn kit, which is, I believe it's called Northern Lights. And this is going to be for my husband. It is stitched on 16 count Haunted. I believe this is a picture this plus fabric. And I am that far. I worked this whole area down here. I don't know if I'll be able to put in pictures of how it looked before I started working on it this session or not. I'm not sure if I have those. I put all my pictures, progress pictures, on a thumb drive so that I have them. And I'm not completely sure if I have that thumb drive with me. So if I do, I'll try to pop the before picture in, but there's no guarantee. Then we move on to May 26th to June 1st. And I worked on the Sheep Virtues. It is a country cottage needlework set of patterns. This is a companion piece to it. This is called Sheep in the Meadow. And I worked and completed that portion. And this is what it looks like. I made a few minor changes. The grass is done in a variegated floss. The flowers are a little bit different colors, but the majority of it is done exactly as it's suggested. And I would have started on the next sheep virtue that I'm going to be doing. I had packed all of those patterns, and they are in the truck that is not with me. So I could not continue on with that. So that, to finish that off, only took me, I believe, 2 days, maybe 2.5 days. So then I had to figure out, well, what am I going to do for the rest of this week? And what I did is I pulled out Zucca. This is an Alessandra Adelaide pattern. And I am doing it a bit differently. My pumpkin is going to be a white pumpkin. And this is how it looks right now. I finished the stem. I got some more of the leaves finished. And I worked up here in this area with the different colors of variegated. The variegated main color is called Lightning, I believe. I'll put all of the information in the description box. But this is how I've done it. And it's on this Rusca. I don't know why it shows so red, because it's really not that red. It's a much more rusty brown color, but every time I film this, it comes out as very red. So I wish it would show the colors better, but it just doesn't. So I got that work done on that. Now, I am hosting a sal this year for my 60th birthday. My birthday is on July 10th. So what I chose to do is from the 7th to the 10th of every month, I am going to work strictly on a patriotic piece. Now, in May, I finished off the sampler, American Sampler by J Design. You can go back in my videos and look for it and find that. So I was able to pick up my second patriotic piece. And my second patriotic piece is this Jan Hicks E Pluribus Unum. I have seen several other floss tubers do this. I know for a fact that the Daybreak stitcher, her name is Jerica. I know she has finished this piece, and she did a beautiful job. It's just gorgeous. I am changing pretty much all of the colors and doing my own colors and conversion with this piece. And if you're interested in my conversion, once I get farther along with it, because it's the reds and the whites that I've changed. I also changed the blue, but that's all I've done so far, basically. But if you would like my conversion once you see it finished, just give me a message and I will let you know what my colors are. But for that one, this session, I was able to get this far. Now there's a lot of stitching in those stars and in that blue. Plus, I really only got to work on this for maybe 2.5 days, because this was during the time when I was traveling, and you can't drive and stitch at the same time. It just doesn't work. So I only got about 2 days worth of time done on this, and I did this E pluribus unum is in DMC variegated 111. The white is antique lace by Weeks, or no, not Weeks. Classic Colorworks, I believe. Classic Colorworks is antique lace, and the blue is wavy navy, also Classic Colorworks. Yes, Classic Colorworks. So that's how far I got in the little bit of time that I was able to work on it. Does that show better? Show it up a little bit better. It's not quite so see-through. But there's a lot of blue left to put in there. And I put the white stars in just so it would be easier to just fill that blue in and get it done. And then I'll move on to the stripes. So that's that. Then there were a couple of days left, because the 7th to the 13th obviously is not a full week. So the extra days left in that was what gave me the ability to finish my autumn and get it done. Then we have my baby blanket. And this is the one that I am doing for my granddaughter. She was born October 10th. This will be her 3rd birthday. And I'm trying very, very, very hard to get this finished this year so that she can have it. And it's an alphabet blanket that I am doing. And it's kind of my own mix and match for the squares that I'm doing. So I had the turtle done last time, but I did not have the word printed out. So I finished this. Then I was able to chart this and put it together. She was born in Houston, Texas, at Memorial Hermann Hospital. And just to keep it in the theme of Stony Creek patterns, this little starfish was from the baby Sea Babies sampler. And because it's Texas, I thought the star went very well. And then the little heart down here is approximately where Houston would be on the map of Texas. And for you, you is an interesting one. I was struggling. I did not want to put a unicorn on. It's not a real animal. I did not want to put a unicorn on. And what other you animals are there? Very hard to find a you animal. But what was interesting is when I put it into the Google Google search, I was able to find, it's called a Unau sloth. UNAU sloth. Well, interesting enough, in the Protected Babies booklet from Stony Creek, they have a sloth. So here is the U square. This is a variegated brown that I'm using for the branch. and his little face. And I got this much of him. I left this on because it's for the outline, and I didn't want to just cut it off. I just as I outline as I go along, and then there's not so much of it left at the end. And his entire face is done, and then his body will come down here, and there'll be just a little bit more of the branch that he's holding on to out behind him, and then I'll put the name on the bottom of this square. But I got that much of him done, and I will show you, if I can do this, how much. Okay, there you go. That pretty much shows the entire thing. But yeah, that is how far I was able to get with the Stony Creek blanket for my granddaughter's ABC sampler for her, well, it's going to be her 3rd birthday, but I'm really hopeful that I can get it done this year because I've worked really hard on making that a focus piece. I had to do a quick pause and go and get the piece that I am working on for this week. So from June 23rd to June 29th, I am working on the Mill Hill kit of Laurel Birch's Hummingbird. And this is, that's not gonna work. Hold on, let me get something. Will this make it better? I don't have my board with me, so I have nothing dark to put behind it so that it doesn't, let me see, maybe if I do this, there, that's better. Okay, so this is my Laurel Birch. I had worked down here, got a little bit of this red. Like I said, if I can find that flash drive, I will put a before picture up, but I'm not positive that I'll be able to find that or if it's even with me. But here's what it is. And this is one of those magnetic frames that everybody is going wild over, that you can hold it, your perforated paper in. Now, you might notice in the picture, it is not done on black. It was done, and it came with a green linen. But with the way the colors were in the bird and in the flower, I decided that I wanted it to be on black perforated paper. I'm sorry. This is just not doing real well today. Anyway, I wanted to put it on this black perforated paper because, see, on the linen, all of this up here is hard to see. It almost blends in. But on the black paper, it stands out very well. And I think once the bird gets done, he will just really pop on this black. And that's why I chose it. I found this paper, this black perforated paper, on Amazon, and I bought all of the packages that they had available because black is very hard to find. And there are some other pieces that I want to put on that color of perforated paper. So I got all of it. Sorry guys, I didn't share. but I know how hard it is to find, so that's why I did that. So give me 1 second and I'll readjust and we'll continue on. And I just wanted to say, for the baby blanket, that is being worked on an 18 count Afghan, I believe it's called monk's cloth. And it was something that I had in my stash that was given to me. And also Sheep Virtues is being done on a 16 count French lace. Ada cloth, obviously 16 count. Zucca is being done on a 28 count even weave called Rusty. And the E Pluribus Unum is a piece of Ada cloth that I tea-dyed myself. 16 count. 16 count is kind of my thing. I like working with that count. 16 or 32 count, that in my world, it's the best for what I want my projects to come out on. And I always do either 2/1 on 16 or 2/2 on 32 count. So I use 2 threads for all of my 32 or all of my 16 counts. All right, and if there's anything you want to know about any of the pieces that I showed you, my brain is just not working at its top performance because of all that's going on. But I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions, and I'll do my very best to put information in the description box below, so you can kind of get an idea of what's going on with some of the things that I showed you today. So let's move on to what I have, as I call it, my postal prizes. It's things that I have bought. Lots of people call it haul. Others call it happy mail. Whatever you want to call it, you call it what you like. I call it my postal prizes because the majority of my stuff does get sent to me, either from my LNS or from 123 Stitch. 123 Stitch is my go-to stitching supply store when it's not at an LNS that I have locally. They're very good. They communicate very well. Their shipping is spot on. If you have a problem of any sort, they are more than happy to work with you to get it correct, but you very seldom have a incorrect order. I mean, they're human. Mistakes happen, but I think I've only had one time where there was a mistake made, and instead of having me send it back to them, they said keep the one that we sent as an error, and they replaced it for free. So I have nothing but good things to say about 123 Stitch. I am very glad that they're here for all of us to have available. So without further ado, and no, this is not a paid endorsement. I just really like them. So I got 2 button packages. I thought these little watermelon were super cute, and with all of my patriotic pieces that I'm going to be doing in the next year or more, it's always good to have some stars, stripes, flags, that kind of thing. So I got those. I got this, it's a French, or I think it's a French company. I don't know. I'm not even going to try to say what it is. The name of the pattern is Let It Snow. And I chose it because I collect snowmen and I thought he was super adorable. Him and his little friends, the owl, the cardinal, the little bunny, just super cute. And there's the company name at the top there. But this pattern is on 1, 2, 3 stitch. I got another one of the Fabulous House series. This is House Barn. I love the way this house looks. Just super cool. I can't remember who the floss tuber was that talked about this. It may have been Snug Harbor Crafts. It may have been Just Keep Stitching. I can't remember for sure. It might have even been Welcome Stitchery. Whips and Sips. Anyway, I don't remember who I was watching, but I was watching another floss tube, and this one came up, and I had to get it. Now, they had gotten this back when the frame was available, and they could buy the frame. I'm going to try to find something very similar to this, if I can, but I don't know. I fell in love with it. And I've been buying a lot of patriotic pieces lately. Not sure why I'm going so wild with them, but I love decorating from basically the end of May all the way through to the end of July. I fill my house up with patriotic decorations, and some stay up year round. So I really like them. Then when I was searching through, just browsing on 1, 2, 3, I found this one, and I've said in some of my other videos, I love a white pumpkin, and that little guy is just too cute. I love him. He's great. So he was what sold me on this pattern. I like the others too, but that grabbed me. I had to have it. I also have been going wackadoodle wild on chicken designs. And this one is just, I don't know, they're just so cute. Look at them. How can you resist those ladies? Fresh eggs. Because I was looking at Cross-Eyed Cricket, this one came up, and I fell in love with it too. It's not real sugary sweet kind of Valentine. Probably could even keep it out year round rather than just have it as a specific Valentine design. But something about it grabbed me, and I couldn't resist. This one has been on a lot of floss tubes, and I think she did an amazing job with this. This is finally a farm girl design, and it's Dear Soldier. I really like it. There are many, many military people in my family. My dad, 2 of my brothers, my son, my brother-in-law, several nieces and nephews. My family is a big military family. So that piece really is special. And I really appreciate the fact that she made that pattern and gave it out to all of us to enjoy and to stitch. And then there's this. Life and Liberty. And again, I don't know why all of these patriotic pieces are jumping into my cart, but they're amazing. And this one actually comes, I can't open it because the pattern is in there, but this one actually comes with a set of red, white, and blue buttons. And this is by Sue Hillis. Sue Hillis did this one. So yeah, there we go. That's all I bought, because I mean, there's been a lot going on, so buying has not been my thing. Okay, now, I wanted to just mention, I don't know how many of you were subscribers to the channel running with scissors, stitching with Jane and Julie, but sad news is they are not producing any more floss tubes. Between the two of them, with their health and all of the things that they've had to deal with this year, they chose to stop stressing themselves out, and so their channel is no longer available. However, you can go back and watch their previous videos. It's still available. I've gone back and watched from the beginning again, because those ladies, they're just so wholesome and they're so fun and they just make you laugh, and it's really sad that our community is not going to have them giving us content. Julie was a very prolific finisher. She had some amazing ideas of how she finished in not traditional just framing the kind of things, putting them on blocks, putting them as drums, making them into shapes and that kind of thing. So we've lost a really great team of ladies. Jane, her stitching, it was amazing. And so it's really sad that they're not able to continue, but I do wish them the very, very best and hope that maybe if things kind of calm down for them, they might come back just in very sporadic time, not trying to make it a monthly or whatever, but just every once in a while, even if all they do is come back and show us their finishing and say hi and how you doing, that would be great. But as of right now, they're not creating any more videos, and that's very sad. So I've been watching lots of Flosstube. There's been a lot of really great recaps of people that went to StitchCon, both week A and week B. The gifts that they came back with, the stories they came back with, all of their pictures, all of the setup, and all of the work that the ladies that put StitchCon together did. It's amazing. It's really, really amazing and very well done. So for all of these different floss tubers to come back and show their goods and show all that they had is really fun, because if you're not able to get into either week A or week B, it's great to be able to see what was happening. There have also been some mid-year WIP parades, people showing us how far they've gotten along. There have been a couple of people that did not do beginning of the year WIP parades, and now they're showing them just to give you an idea of what they're stitching and what to look for if something inspires you, how they're coping with all of their WIPs, if they've met some of the goals that they set for themselves at the beginning of the year, all that kind of stuff. And they're really fun to watch. So go out and watch those. And then there's been several floss tubers that have been doing some reviews of different magazines. I've seen the Just Cross Stitch Halloween magazine be reviewed by a couple. I've seen the Primitives and Punch Needle, I believe is the book. It's not a book I'm familiar with. I've never subscribed to it or had any of my LNSs have it available just to look at. But there have been a couple of those that have done some reviews. What are the other ones? I know I've watched a few others, but I didn't write them down, so I can't tell you. But there are some reviews out there, and you might want to go and take a look at them. Now, I watch quite a few regulars. Floss Boss and Cousins, Tiger Lily Designs, Handmade by Sarah W., Sarah Stitching Spot or Sarah Stitchery, Two Needles Pulling Threads, Linen and Scrap. So those are my ones that I've watched for quite a while. But I have found a few new ones just recently. So I wanted to give you a heads up for them, and maybe you would like to go over and have a look and see what they're doing. So the first one is Stitching in the Land of Good Enough, and the floss tuber's name is Pam. She has a cross-stitching shop that she films in, and she's got some really nice stuff. She just finished Nora Corbett Touching the Autumn Sky. It's beautiful. It's something to go and look for. So, yeah, Stitching in the Land of Good Enough. Stitching by the Shore, Laura is her name. She is interesting because she doesn't do a lot of framing for her work. What she has come up with is she scrapbooks. And so when she finishes something, then she creates a page to showcase her stitching, but in a scrapbook format. And that's like, wow. You know, for some of these people that just have stuff sitting in a drawer or sitting under their bed, especially if they're small enough, what an idea. Go out and get some scrapbooking paper and some decals and stuff and go to town and put them in a book and put them out on your coffee table and let people see them. What a great idea. So, Stitching by the Shore with Laura. I'm sure several of you have heard about this, and it is the Carolina Stitchers. Now, for some reason, I thought the Carolina Stitchers were the Sassy Southern Stitchers. No, not at all. Two completely different channels. Don't know why, but I just assumed they were the same ladies, and they're not. The Carolina Stitchers are a mother-daughter, Joy and Emma Kay, and they are one of the ones that did a really nice recap of StitchCon. So go give them a look and see what you think. Rose Crafty Corner. Row as in R-H-O, Crafty Corner. Her name is Rolanda and her friend is Kylie. They're from Australia, and they are just some really adorable girls that have a lot of fun and kind of their banter back and forth. It's just amazing. And they come from down under, so they have a little bit different perspective on cross stitching, and it's really great to see them. And yeah, sure, there are things that obviously they're getting from American designers, but you know, some of the things that they have to say are very much Australian perspective, and it's nice to see that. Kelsey Lee and Things. I just barely found her, so I don't have a whole lot of information on her, But she's got some really fun. She did a whole, I guess, finish parade is what you would call it. And it was a lot of patriotic stitching. So it was really fun to watch her. And then cross stitching and adventures, and her name is Amy. And again, I've only watched one of her floss tubes, but it was really fun. It was really interesting what she was stitching and what she was showing, and some of the things that she was doing. So those are ones that are new to me. I've also told you a few of my old favorites. So if there's any that you would like, go ahead and look in the description box. I will be sure to add all of their information down there so that you can go and give them a look and see what they have to show you, and maybe become subscribers for them. So thank you for taking the time out of your day. If I bored you to tears with my story of woe from my moving, I'm very sorry. I hope you won't think that's what is my norm. It's not. It's just what has been happening to me this last month, and I wanted to share. I also wanted to come on and give you an update because it has been so long. As I get my stitching room organized and put together, I've been taking little videos of how things have been progressing, what it looked like empty, what it looked like when I first started putting things away, how I've progressed. I have not got it completely done. I am still working on it. So there will be more little snippets, and once I get all of those put together and I get a completed sewing room, then I will do another video just to show you what my sewing, crafting, happy room will look like, and what I have that I'm sewing, what I have that I'm stitching. I also crochet, so all of that kind of stuff. And it should be fun to have. I've seen some other people show their craft rooms, and it's really kind of fun to see how they've put things together, how they've organized things, what little trinkets they have to kind of decorate it up and that. So look for that. It might be a little while before that happens because there's a lot to do, and I'm still waiting on the rest of my stuff to be delivered. So thank you for joining me. I hope you have a great stitching day. I hope you have some smiles. Happy 4th of July if you're in the United States. Celebrate safe. For the rest of you, just have a happy summer and enjoy your stitching time. Thank you.